Hello, I'm Stuart Bloor, and for those who watch my videos regularly, a little bit of a change around this week. So the written blog becomes the main focus, and this is a short video to accompany it. Well, I'll tell you how to connect with the written part of it at the end of the video, but for now we're going to look at the rig. I'm carp fishing, and behind me, as you can see there, I've got the rod sleeve. Love those. The rods are made up. Get to the lake, put them together, put the bait on, cast out, and you're fishing. But let's take a closer look, as I've said, at the rig itself. From the lead just in my right hand there to the bait in my left, about 12 inches. That's probably maximum that I go when I'm carp fishing. And although I'm fishing mono on the main line, the hook length is actually braid. I like that because if you're up against a snag, overhanging trees, branches, even that sort of thing, that's where the fish will instinctively head for. And that last foot of line, if it's braid, gives you that extra security against a fray and of course losing the fish. Right, let's look at the bait side of the rig now. As you can see, I've got a shot there. I do use designated pop-up leads, but I'm using a split shot on this occasion. That tells you that I'm fishing a pop-up, a buoyant bait. Without it, it would just float right up in the water, but that lead, that shot there, will anchor the bait. And as you can see, the hook just beneath the pop-ups. Now, if you've ever seen goldfish feeding in a tank or an aquarium, what they do is they'll come in, they'll suck the bait, or in their instance the food, not necessarily fishing for them of course. They'll suck the food, spit it out, suck it in again, and that's exactly what carp do. In effect, they're just big goldfish, aren't they? So when you're fishing with a pop-up, the bait acts more natural. It hasn't got the weight of the hook attached to it or through it like a conventional way of fishing, so the fish will suck that in, and as they do so, they'll also take the hook as well. And as they spit the food out, the hook will catch, and then of course you've got your fish on. So that's the pop-up side of things. That's the bait side of the rig. Now let's look at the other end, 12 inches away, the lead. Most of my carp fishing is not done at great distance. In fact, if I want to fish 70, 80, 90 yards away, what I normally do is just walk around the bank and fish from there and cast out 10 yards or whatever it might be. And most of my angling is done with, my carp fishing is done with a small lead, in this instance a 1.5 ounce lead. It's a flat lead, and as you can see there, the swivel is encased in the rubbers. I've got top and bottom rubbers. They fit over the swivel. They help to avoid tangles on the cast. They also keep things nice and tidy and neat looking as well. Then of course the lead that we've just mentioned, you have to keep it tight, you have to have it fixed, because when the fish sucks the bait in, you want the lead to act as an anchor, so that helps to set the hook initially. So what I've got there is the swivel drops right down onto the top rubber, and as you can see there, that's fixed. Now what I've got here is a bead that's just been put onto the line, and that is not tight at all, and this is very, very important. That moves. That's very, very easy to pull up and down. Then I've got a 5mm bead just to stop the stop from going through the eye of the swivel, and that's called a safe rig. That's what you want, something that's safe. So if in the unlikely event that there is an issue and I have a break above there, so at that point the fish, if it's hooked, will be towing this around. That's death, isn't it? That's not good for the fish at all. What will happen is the moment that catches on anything, that just comes straight off. Minimal amount of pressure. A carp certainly would just be able to pull that off. In fact, this is so loose that stop on the line that I'm just fishing 2, 3, 4 lengths out, and even there I have to continually tighten it up. If I were fishing at 60, 70, 80 yards or whatever, then without doubt that stop would just come up the line. That's been my experience, and that's what you want. The last thing you fish with is with a lead that's totally fixed against there where you can't even pull it away. That is a safe rig. It's also effective as well, as you've seen from some of the photographs on the screen. That has worked for me this week. So to connect with the blog, go to the comments box here on YouTube and you'll find the link that takes you to my angling website, and you can see in a little bit more detail how I got on. Out and about yourself, as always, tight lines, and I'll see you next week.